Penelope always believed that love meant giving without limits. So she did, her time, her energy, her heart, all offered freely to the friends she cherished most. But when her world quietly cracked and she reached out with a trembling hand, no one reached back. Left in silence, she begins to question everything. What happens when the person who's always there for everyone else needs someone, and no one comes? Hello family, welcome to Storytime with Imzi. Please subscribe and like, it means the world to us. Also share this video to your friends and loved ones and turn on post notifications so you don't miss future videos from us. Thank you as you do so. Sit back and relax as we dive into the story. Penelope stood at the edge of the park, a tray of homemade cupcakes balanced in her hands, the soft sunlight catching the shimmer of sprinkles. A breeze tugged at the hem of her skirt, and she smiled to herself. Jess loved vanilla frosting, Mika had a thing for anything pink, and Tara always peeled off the wrappers before even finishing her first bite. Penelope remembered it all. Every preference, every inside joke, every allergy and aversion. They were already there, sprawled out on a picnic blanket under the big oak tree, laughing about something Penelope couldn't hear yet. As she approached, Jess waved lazily without getting up, and Mika raised her phone to snap a selfie mid-laugh. Tara was too busy scrolling to notice her. "Hey, I brought cupcakes," Penelope said brightly, lowering the tray like an offering. "Oh, cute," Jess said, grabbing one without a glance. Mika leaned over to pick the pinkest one. Tara mumbled a thank you, eyes still on her screen. Penelope sat down cross-legged, tucking her hair behind her ear as she smiled. She didn't need a big reaction. It made her happy just to make them happy. The afternoon passed in that cozy, chaotic way only close friends could manage. Bursts of laughter, overlapping stories, spilled drinks, and the familiar scent of grass and sunscreen. Penelope was always the one pulling napkins from her bag, handing over water bottles, picking up wrappers after everyone else. No one asked her to, she just did it, because she cared. She always had. When Jess ran out of battery, Penelope offered her power bank without hesitation. When Tara needed a ride home because her ex had texted her again and she just couldn't deal, Penelope was already checking the time and planning the route. "You're honestly the best," Mika said as she lay back in the grass, eyes closed. "Like, we don't deserve you." Penelope laughed softly. "That's what friends are for, right?" She meant it. Every word. And for that moment, under the rustling leaves and golden light, Penelope felt like she was exactly where she belonged. Even if they didn't always say thank you. Even if no one ever asked how she was doing. Not yet, anyway. Saturday morning, and Penelope's phone buzzed with a message from Mika. "Babe, I know it's last minute, but can you help me move today?" My cousin bailed weary face. Penelope blinked, still groggy from staying up late finishing her final project. She had planned to sleep in, maybe sketch in the quiet for once. But instead, she sat up, already replying with a cheerful "of course. I'll bring coffee too," smiley face. By noon, she was carrying boxes up 3 flights of stairs while Mika lounged cross-legged on the floor, sipping iced tea and directing where things should go. Sweat pooled at the back of Penelope's neck, her arms ached, but Mika kept talking about how stressful it had all been for her, how exhausted she was from organizing everything. Penelope just smiled and nodded, brushing hair out of her face with her forearm. The following week, Jess called in a panic. "I'm short on rent. Like, by $200. My bank is being annoying again. Could you spot me? Just until next week, I swear." Penelope didn't hesitate. She didn't have much to spare, but she shifted things around, cut back on a few groceries, and sent the money. "Take your time," she told Jess. "Seriously, don't stress." Tara had a full meltdown on FaceTime one night, sobbing so hard her voice broke. Her ex had posted a photo with someone new. Penelope stayed on the call until 3 a.m., gently guiding Tara through the grief, whispering reassurances. Her eyes stung by the end, but she didn't hang up. Not once. Their lives became a revolving door of chaos, and Penelope was always the one standing at the threshold with open arms. She held their messes like sacred things, never judging, never asking for anything in return. Her own emotions? Her own needs? They stayed folded up neatly in the back of her mind, like a letter she never got around to mailing. They told her she was so dependable, the sweetest, a real one. And Penelope clung to that, because maybe if she gave enough, one day they'd give something back. Even if they hadn't yet. The first time Penelope felt it, that quiet sting of being overlooked, it came soft and subtle, like a paper cut. She had spent 3 nights painting a custom canvas for Tara's birthday, each stroke layered with intention. Tara's favorite shades of lavender, gold constellations from her zodiac chart, tiny daisy details along the corners. When she finally gifted it, wrapped in craft paper and twine, Tara looked at it for all of 5 seconds before saying, "Ah, thanks. That's cute," and setting it aside. No photo. No mention online. Just a toss onto a growing pile of clothes on her bed. Penelope told herself not to overthink it. Then came the art show, the first time her pieces were being exhibited in a local gallery. She messaged the group chat with the invite. "Would love for you guys to come. It's not a huge thing, but it means a lot to me, Yellowheart." Tara liked the message. Jess didn't respond. Mika said, "Oh, that's the night of Keegan's DJ set, right? Might swing by after." None of them showed up. She stood in the corner of the gallery in her best dress, sipping lukewarm wine and pretending not to scan the door every 2 minutes. People wandered by, complimented her work, a few even asked for prices. But the people she wanted to see most, the ones who were supposed to know her, never came. The following week, Penelope got sick. Nothing dramatic, just a bad flu that left her weak and dizzy. She texted the group once, asking if someone could grab her meds from the pharmacy. Seen. No reply. She coughed into the crook of her arm, the TV murmuring in the background, and stared at her phone like it might blink to life with the old warmth she used to feel from their chats. But it didn't. Still, she brushed it off. They were busy. Everyone was going through stuff. She was being too sensitive. Wasn't she? That night, lying in bed with the soft hum of city noise filtering through her window, Penelope whispered a single, forbidden thought. If I stopped showing up, would they even notice I was gone? And then she shoved it deep down, where she kept all the other questions she didn't want to answer. Penelope spent the morning of her birthday baking her own cake. It was a quiet Saturday. She played her favorite music on low volume and lit a candle for herself, pretending it didn't matter that no one had mentioned any plans. No text from Jess. No call from Mika. No cute meme or voice note from Tara like in previous years. Just silence. Still, she held on to hope. She dressed up anyway, soft blush sweater, a little lip tint, her hair curled just right. Maybe they were planning something. Maybe they were running late. At 7 p.m., she sat at the corner table of La Forêt, the cafe they always went to for special occasions. She even reserved it herself, just in case. She waited. Every time the door opened, her heart leapt. By 7:45, she stopped looking up. By 8:15, she ordered a coffee just to have something to do with her hands. By 8:40, she paid the bill and walked home alone. It wasn't until she curled up on the couch, still in her makeup, that she opened Instagram. There they were, Jess, Mika, Tara, grinning wide in someone's kitchen, drinks in hand, the caption reading, "Spontaneous nights are the best nights, sparkles kiss mark." Penelope stared at the photo, her eyes blurring as she zoomed in on the background. Mika's signature pink hydro flask. Tara's jacket. Jess's ugly leopard print boots. They had gone out together. They just hadn't invited her. No excuse. No birthday wishes. No text. Nothing. Her heart didn't shatter. It folded quietly, like a piece of paper creased too many times. Not anger. Not yet. Just a raw kind of stillness. A truth she had been trying not to see suddenly glared under fluorescent light. She sat in the dark, cake untouched on the counter. And for the first time, she let herself stop making excuses for them. Penelope didn't cry the next morning. She just woke up feeling hollow. Not angry. Not even surprised anymore. Just tired. Tired of being the afterthought, the convenience, the unspoken guarantee in everyone else's life. She stared at the group chat on her phone for a long while. The old messages were a collage of casual chaos, memes, frantic voice notes, "Pen, you're a lifesaver" texts. At one point, she would have smiled rereading them. Now they felt like museum pieces from a friendship that had died quietly when no one was looking. So, she decided to find out what was real. That afternoon, Penelope typed a message and stared at it before hitting send. "Hey, I'm in a really bad place. I need help. Please. I don't know what else to do." She turned her phone face down and waited. 1 hour. Nothing. Another hour. Still nothing. She picked it up. Jess had read the message 20 minutes ago, no reply. Mika posted a story of her lunch. Tara was active now. At the 3rd hour, Mika finally texted. "Ah babe, are you okay? I'm out W Marcus RN, but LMK if you need to talk later," pleading face 2 hearts. Penelope read the message 3 times. There was no question of what had happened. She hadn't said what was wrong, and none of them had even asked. No urgency. No, "Do you need me to come over?" No call. No plan. Just words, shallow and sugar-coated. She set her phone down again, the screen fading to black, and leaned back against the headboard. It was strangely quiet in her room. Peaceful, even. This was the moment she had been avoiding for years. And now that it had arrived, it didn't explode. It settled. Not with rage, but with clarity. 2 days passed. Not one of them followed up. No calls. No knock on her door. No, "How are you holding up?" Just silence, sealed with emojis and casual disregard. Penelope sat at her desk, watching the cursor blink on a blank email she'd meant to finish for work. But she couldn't focus. Her thoughts kept drifting back to the group chat. Not the silence now, but all the silences that had come before. The patterns. The weight she had carried alone. The way they had let her. She opened Instagram and posted a story. Funny how quick people disappear when they can't use you anymore. It wasn't pointed. Not directly. But it was a spotlight. It took all of 15 minutes for the group chat to light up. "Jess. Is that about us?" "Mika. Wait, what's going on? Why are you being weird?" "Tara. Is something wrong or are you just trying to be dramatic?" Penelope stared at her phone for a moment. And then finally she started typing. "You really want to know? Okay. Let's talk. All of us." She started a video call and waited. Jess joined first, arms folded, lips tight. Mika popped in soon after, her camera angled upward like she couldn't be bothered to hold the phone properly. Tara was last, bare-faced, expression unreadable. "Wow. So what is this, like an intervention?" Jess asked. "No," Penelope said calmly. "It's a reckoning." They laughed nervously. Penelope didn't. "I've always been there for you. Every late night, every crisis, every ride, every favor, every time one of you needed anything, I showed up. Every single time. You think that was easy. You think it didn't cost me something? But I did it. Because I cared. No one spoke. But the moment I needed you, not even for something real, just a test, you left me hanging. All of you. Wait, a test?" Mika frowned. "So that wasn't real?" "No," Penelope said. "It wasn't. But if it had been, none of you would have helped. And that says more than anything I could have made up." Tara sighed. "Why didn't you just tell us how you felt?" "I shouldn't have to beg the people who claim to love me to show up," Penelope said. "You didn't forget. You just didn't care enough. That's the truth." Mika opened her mouth. Jess leaned back, arms still crossed. Tara looked away. And for the first time, Penelope didn't wait to be comforted. Didn't wait for an apology that might never come. She ended the call. Just like that. The group chat didn't die instantly. It limped. A few hours after the call, Jess sent a message. "I didn't know you were so sensitive. If you wanted something, you could have just asked." Mika chimed in with, "It's not fair to guilt us like that. We all have stuff going on." Tara stayed silent. Penelope read their messages with a calm detachment, like reading the end of a book she'd already stopped caring about. The words weren't apologies. They were deflections. Excuses. Quietly accusatory, wrapped in passive concern. They weren't sorry for what they had done. They were sorry they'd been called out. No one said, "I see what I did." No one said, "You're right." No one said, "I'm sorry." Penelope didn't reply. Not immediately. Not the next day. Not at all. She simply removed herself from the group chat. No message. No grand exit. Just gone. And for a few days it hurt. Deeply. She'd spent so much of her life pouring herself into those friendships, stitching herself into their stories. Letting go felt like peeling something off her skin. But slowly, the silence became something new. Not loneliness. Not grief. Peace. She went on walks without checking her phone. She journaled late into the night. She deleted photos that made her wince. She unfollowed, muted, untagged, not in anger, but with intention. And in the stillness, something strange happened. Penelope realized she hadn't actually lost friends. She had lost illusions. What was left behind was space. And in that space, she began to feel something she hadn't in a long time. Free. The seasons shifted without ceremony. Summer faded into a quieter autumn, and with it, so did the shadows of old friendships. Penelope no longer waited for apologies. Instead, she began showing up for herself the way she used to show up for everyone else. She joined a weekend pottery class, where she met people who asked her name and actually remembered it. She got coffee with a girl from work who listened, really listened, when Penelope talked about her art. They laughed over stupid things, shared playlists, showed up for each other without keeping score. And when Penelope mentioned her birthday in passing one afternoon, that same girl surprised her with a cupcake 2 days later, complete with a little wax candle and a soft smile. "I know it's late, but I figured you deserved it." It was small, simple, but it nearly brought tears to Penelope's eyes. Because it was effort, given freely. She started drawing again, not commissions, not favors. Just for herself. Her lines grew bolder. Her colors brighter. Her room filled with plants, laughter, and silence she no longer feared. She learned that loving people didn't mean losing yourself. That real friendship wasn't about obligation, but mutuality. She still had a big heart, yes. That would never change. But now she gave from a full cup, not a drained one. And for the first time, Penelope didn't feel like a background character in other people's lives. She was the main character in her own.